I'm going to share with you my PLN learning network, also known as a professional learning community. The website I created. On my website, we have our headings on our homepage. I named it Professional Learning Networks for the 21st Century Educator, PLN. And I give the goal for the site. The goal of this site is to introduce you to the world of professional learning networks, or PLNs. I've worked for Baltimore City Schools for 18 years. I currently teach middle school English and language arts. I'm an avid reader and enjoy learning new ways to enhance the student learner's classroom experience. PLNs provide that opportunity. I also have a quote by Abigail Adams. This infographic by Sylvia Duckworth is a great explanation of the connected educator, and ultimately it works on our goals as educators in becoming, creating our PLN and working through. As I went through and created my PLN, I was stuck with students need advocates, and I think that PLNs give us this opportunity. If you get a moment, please take a moment. Please look at this TED Talk that she did some time ago. It's very insightful and very thought-provoking. When you go back up here, my site takes you to about PLNs, and we have a quote about learning and why it's important to learn. And it's from The Once and Future King by T.H. White. We have a description of what a PLN is, taken from Jordan Capitano, and an article that I was reading. I have a short website that explains what a PLN is and where to begin by Mark Lalandre. The next thing we have is 5 reasons teachers should create a PLN now. And that was from Caitlin Tucker, reasons teachers should create a PLN now. And I thought that was very important. Leading to that, social media is an important part of creating a PLN. And social media is probably a great equalizer, or one of the greatest equalizers, and one of the greatest tools that we can use in creating a PLNs. And so I show you how to join. The video tells you how to join Twitter and starting your PLN, Facebook, Instagram, and it was really fairly easy to learn how to embed these videos. Also using this website, I found a blog or a website, the U.S. Department of State, and their Teachers Corner, and you just click the link and it opens in another window, and it just talks about, for English teachers, Teachers Corner personal learning networks, and it gives some insight into that. You can also download that as a PDF. Going back, there's a small survey here to take, just to do a poll, just to see where you are now, because a lot of us already belong to Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. Going back up, I wanted to show you, this is my PLN. And I have a picture of my high school that I keep, and I forgot, really wanted to use that, and it's a reason to share it. It makes me glad I took the picture. But as I go through, it's a few thoughts on me growing my PLN. I don't have a before and after picture, but I will be able to tell you that this has become much larger, particularly over here, than it was previously. And I am looking forward to adding to it. I used a Poplet website to help create that, and just to make connections and share ideas. It was a little trying, I guess, but just to put that into my own personal learning network. In terms of my workplace PLN, I combined this, and most of these are school related, with the exception of Facebook and Instagram and Pinterest. I find school related items, and I'm working on curating them in their area. Facebook doesn't really allow that unless you're talking more about groups. These are some people to follow on Twitter, which you can find, and these are people that are face to face and things that we do through work in general. The next thing I wanted to share with you is using Twitter as a PLN tool. Because I have found that using Twitter has been the most enjoyable experience for me. I find myself looking at Twitter throughout the day sometimes just to see if there's an ed chat or some other conversation that I can participate in around education. Well, let me rephrase that. During the afternoon or during my planning period, but not during the school day. I wanted to, this video will give some insight on how to participate in a tweet chat and archiving tweet chats becomes an important part of curating, and more of that later. But here are some examples of tweet chats that I participated in or hosted with my PLN group. And archiving tweet chats is an important and great way to maintain and keep up with information. When we go here to my PLN for school, we begin to look at I changed the name to professional learning communities for school. And that was because I think it's more, you're helping your school to grow. And this talks about where to begin, and there's a link here to what is a professional learning community, and that's a great article, as well as this infographic about the characteristics of a PLC. Then we get here, and this is the PLC that I've begun trying to create for school, and I look forward to sharing more of it with my colleagues at some point. These are some middle school podcasts to go look for. Miss Cole's classroom, and she's an English teacher, or her blog rather, and Common Sense podcasts and blogs. PBIS podcasts and blogs dealing with culture and climate, because that's a very important part of the work that we do. I go back up and I look at more, and I have one here called Organizing Your PLN or PLC, and curating and organizing your information using curation tools. This infographic could probably explain it a lot better than I could in some ways. These are my last thoughts on the PLN or PLC, and they won't solve all your problems, but they're helpful, and they make you better at tackling your problems. This is a little bit about me with one of my favorite pictures and my contact information. And when you go here, one of the things that I was inspired by, and just some feedback I received, I started trying to blog. I tend to be a free thought kind of writer, so I didn't have a theme. This particular post was about last Friday after testing for ELA, or during a break between testing. We pick up again tomorrow, but this is a pickup on that. A little blurb about me, and this is the first post actually of me beginning blogging, and it shares that. So if you get a moment, take a moment, read it. Let me know your thoughts. And that is my professional learning network and website.